Welcome back. We've had the two good sessions this morning. When I come to one of my favourite things in the year, which is our annual award ceremony. And what's particularly good is all I have to do is hand over to two excellent Masters of Ceremony who will be handling the event. And they are Tony Hall, Lord Hall, who also happens to be the president of the VLV, and to Roger Bolton, known to all of you, who is also a patron of the VLV. So, gentlemen, over to you.
Thank you, Colin, and I'm delighted to be here, privileged to be here, actually, for the VLV Awards, because these are awards which really are special, because they're chosen by people who are not professionally employed by the media, maybe they were in the past or whatever, but they've shown by their membership and their support of VLV their commitment to excellence and quality in broadcasting. The programme awards are based on the nominations from VLV members, and their enthusiasm and breadth of interest is demonstrated by the sheer number of different programmes suggested this year. 134 in the television categories, 137 in audio, and there were 92 nominations for individual contributors. I think that's really massive. These are the VLV's 34th annual awards, and in our ever-changing and complicated media landscape, more either side of these awards, where even the word broadcast sounds very old-fashioned in the world of podcasts and streaming, we all know, because what unites us here is what matters is quality content, the facts being the facts and breadth, and people who represent that quality. That's what the VLV Awards for Excellence in Broadcasting have always been about.
Well, I'm delighted to be Tony's sidekick on this occasion. I haven't been so close to an award for over 30 years. Longer, actually. A little housekeeping. I'm going to read out the nominations, and Tony will announce the winners and who's coming up to receive the awards. Now, it'd be good if you could wait to applaud until the winners' names have all been announced and they're on the way to the stage. And then there'll be a photographer who will be taking some photographs. And if award winners do want to say a few words, please do so, very few words, but don't thank your mother or your agent. Now, we're going to start with the radio awards nominated and voted for by VLV members. And the first is for the Best Radio Comedy Programme. The nominations, all from Radio 4, are Ed Reardon's Week, It's a Fair Cop, One Person Found This Helpful, The Infinite Monkey Cage, The News Quiz, and The Unbelievable Truth.
Well, we all know how important Radio 4 is, and my Friday evenings, I love when it's the News Quiz, because that's the winner, the News Quiz. Here to collect the award is Commissioner Julia Mackenzie, Executive Producer Richard Morris, Producer Rajit Carrier, Scriptwriter Mike Shepherd, and Production Coordinator Julia Matsu. Congratulations. Who would like to take that? There we are. Do you want to say a few words?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this wonderful award. Andy Zoltzman would love to have been here, but it's Thursday. He's making the news quiz, as is our fantastic producer, Georgia Keating. I'd just like to say thanks so much for everyone who voted for us. Thanks so much to everyone who builds the news quiz, our fantastic writers, coordinators, execs, our commissioner, and the audiences who keep coming back and keep giving us the love, and the politicians who keep making the news. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. Can you stay here? We're going to take a photograph. You can you're the important people. That's right. Just come stay at the back there somewhere. Very good. Well done.
Now, next is the award for the Best Radio Drama Programme. Once again, all from Radio 4. The nominations are High Cockalorum, Murder in the Cathedral, Secrets and Lies, Shed, The Archers, and The Spire.
And once again, this is a thing that only the BBC excels at, and that's radio drama. Thank God for that. And the winner is Murder in the Cathedral. And here to collect the award is Commissioning Editor for Drama and Fiction, Alison Hindle, Executive Editor, Drama Wales, Emma Harding, Composer Joseph Howard, and Sound Designer Rhys Morris.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone at VLV and for everybody who voted for us. This is such an honour to win this award. I have so many people to thank, but I won't get through them all. But obviously, drama is a collaborative enterprise. Huge thanks to my sound designer, Rhys Morris, to my brilliant cast headed by Danny Sapani, who played Thomas Beckett, to composer Joseph Howard, who I think is still running his way here. He took up the challenge without flinching when I said, do you think we could have some music that combines medieval plain chant with Bernard Herrmann's score for Psycho? And he went ahead and did it, and it was brilliantly recorded for us by the wonderful BBC singers. So I'm so thankful to all of them. And to Radio 4 and to Alison Hindle, who is our commissioner and just one of the strongest champions of audio drama. So long may it continue to thrive at the BBC. Thank you.
Reminds me the height of my acting career was playing a leading woman of Canterbury in Murder in the Cathedral. Had the lines about the world being wholly foul, but there we are. Right, next is the award for Best Radio Music and Arts Programme. The nominations from Radio 3, there were others, were Compline, Early Music Show, Front Row, Private Passions, and from Radio 4, Death of a Naturalist and Painting of the Week, a podcast by Seventh Art Productions.
The great thing is I can editorialise that, can't I? So I love this programme a lot. The winner is Radio 3's Private Passions. And here to collect their award is Commissioning Editor, Arts, Matthew Dodd, and producers Graham Rogers and Claire Walker. There we are.
Oh, very kind.
Say a few words.
I just want to say thank you so much for this award. I'm Claire, I make the programme along with Graham. It's been on air, the programme Private Passions, for about 31 years, and Michael Barclay has presented every single edition, which is well over 1,000 programmes, so it's no mean feat. Very sadly, Michael isn't able to be here in person to collect the award today, but it means a great deal to him, and he's really grateful for it. It's such a privilege to produce Private Passions and find out about how people have this incredible emotional connection to classical music, from giggling with Miranda Hart, as she described in treating her wedding guests to sing Climb Every Mountain. We've heard Michael Nyman's music to the piano, how it literally saved the life of the crime writer Louise Penny. And it's just amazing also to hear from guests who've lived through really turbulent times, like Leah Upi, who, when communism fell in Albania, was suddenly allowed to listen to Wagner for the first time. So I'd like to thank John Gowdy, my editor, who sadly also can't be here, whose unwavering enthusiasm and sage advice keeps me on the right path, and Graham, who always selects the best music, and of course to Matthew Dodd, our commissioning editor, for his constant support. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Thanks.
Private Passion.
Do you think that might get recommissioned? Right, next is the award for the Best Radio News and Factual Programme. Once again, all the nominations are from Radio 4. And they are Broadcasting House, Strong Message Here, The Briefing Room, The Life Scientific, The Media Show, and Today.
And the award goes to The Life Scientific. And here to collect their award are commissioning editor Dan Clark, presenter Jim Al-Khalili, executive producer Sasha Feacham, producer Lucy Taylor, and production manager Maria Simons.
Well, thank you very much. This is lovely. We can't compete with Private Passions for longevity, but 15 years and still going strong, I think is fantastic. It's testament to the listeners of Radio 4 that they want to hear about science, and it doesn't matter if it's really complicated science, you know, if it's genetics or quantum computing. This week we had Dean Lomax, so talking about dinosaurs is always going to be a winner. I'm just the voice in the studio. The magic and the hard work really goes on behind the scenes. So I'd like to thank my series producer, Lucy Taylor, the team at BBC Studios, of course, Sasha Feacham, our exec producer for audio, the production team, Maria Simons and Kate Jameson, Dan Clark, our commissioner. Oh, you're there on stage, of course. I forgot he got called up. Dan, thank you very much. Mo Hitz at Radio 4, who will remember he was the commissioning editor when the programme first started in 2011. Very special for me, confirming what my wife always tells me, Jim, you have the face for radio. Thank you very much.
We're now going to move on to the Television Programme Awards. And the first is for Best Television Drama Programme. The nominations were, from BBC One, Blue Lights, Riot Women, Shetland, The Gold, and then Murder Before Evensong from Channel 5, and Unforgotten from ITV.
And this is another great one too. The winning drama is Blue Lights. And here to collect their award are executive producer Stephen Wright and actor Michael Smiley. Fantastic. I'd like to say a few words. Or both.
We'll both go. I want to thank the BBC for commissioning this show. I'm a firm believer they're the only people who would have backed this show from Belfast, and I'm grateful to the commissioners and the executive producers. Also, I want to thank, we're on our 4th series, so I want to thank everybody who's worked on the show, amazing crew, a cast that I'm so proud of, including Michael, who's going to say a couple of things. Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's Blue Lights have been blessed to get awards, but one of the best things for me is when viewers and listeners vote for it. That's the real award, you know, and to understand or to get a bit of more understanding about this wee part of the world that we're from. You know, it's really ironic that actually all the information that you're going to get is going to come through entertainment, you know, not through heavy tomes or, you know, wordy documentaries, but actually through entertainment we're going to learn a lot more about the 6 counties of the north of Ireland. So thank you very much for this award. God bless you.
Michael's so terrifying on screen and so nice off it.
But it is really nice when people say, do you know, only the BBC would have backed this. I think that's another reason for keeping.
The next award is for Best Television Entertainment Programme. And the nominations were Celebrity Traitors and Have I Got News for You from BBC One, Later with Jules Holland and QI from BBC Two, and Portrait of the Year from Sky Arts.
And the winner is Have I Got News for You? And here to collect the award is series producer Mike Raymond. Brilliant.
Thank you. As you probably gathered, the team are all in studio filming, and we had a discussion about who was the least important to that process.
And so here I am. I just want to say thank you so much for this FIFA Peace Prize. We're delighted to receive it. I'm just going to get, because I'm terrible at public speaking. Unfortunately, Ian and Paul couldn't be here to accept it, so in their absence, I'd just like to say it's all down to the producers. Thank you to everyone at VLV and everyone who voted for the show. It really is an honour. We genuinely don't take it lightly, even after being on screen for all these years. And also like to thank having a public service broadcaster who, despite all its trials and tribulations, still allows us to poke fun at it and our institutions. And I think in a healthy democracy, that's a really important thing. So thank you. Yeah.
And now we move on to the Best Television News and Factual programme. The nominations are Idris Elba, Our Knife Crime Crisis, and Prisoner 951, those from BBC One, and from BBC Two, Empire, The Last Musician of Auschwitz, and Newsnight, and Channel 4 News from Channel 4.
And the winner is Channel 4 News. And to collect their award, Stuart McTeer, Head of UK News, Head of Planning, Faye Clark, and Senior Producer, Hilda May.
Oh, I shall give you that. Thanks very much for this. Receiving this award means a great deal to everyone at Channel 4 because of the recognition of the VLV members who are as passionate about public service broadcasting as we are. It's probably said every year, but this is such an extraordinary time for news, both here in the UK and internationally. But thanks to the great support of Channel 4, we can send our journalists and crews to cover stories where they happen, and we also have the airtime to be able to provide the vital context and debate around those issues. It's a world where there's so much instant opinion and growing amounts of misinformation, so it's vital that outlets like ours provide the accountability and analysis that is needed on television and our growing number of digital outlets. Thank you so much for this. It really is appreciated.
And next we move to Best Television Children's Programme. This award is chosen by VLV trustees and other specialists in programmes for children and younger people.
This year's award goes to Sky Kids Investigates World War Me. The programme is presented by 16-year-old refugee Bana Alabed, who for 5 years lived in a war zone in Syria. She explores what life is like for over 450 million children around the world affected by armed conflict. Around 1 in 6 of all children. She won the 2025 Children's Peace Prize, and here to collect the award are Nikki Cox, the CEO of Fresh Start Media, and Ian France, commissioning editor, Sky Kids.
Let's put my glasses on. Thank you so much to the Voice of the Listener and viewer for this award. It really means a lot to us that it's voted for by you. World War Me is a film carried by the extraordinary children who trusted us with their stories. These are young people living in war zones around the world, showing incredible courage, not just in what they're enduring, but in their willingness to speak about it. What stayed with us most was how matter-of-fact they are in the film. They talk about conflict and loss and fear as if it's everyday life. And that's the hardest truth of all, that wars become normal for them, and it shouldn't be. At Fresh Start Media, we believe children deserve to be heard, not spoken about, but truly listened to. So thank you to Sky Kids, Ian, for continuing to back documentaries like this, told by children themselves. In a landscape where too many public service broadcasters are stepping back, that commitment really matters. And Sky is not a public service broadcast, so it's even more amazing that they're doing this with us. Finally, if you don't already know it, please do check out our Children United channel. It's the world's first global news channel for children, and it's free for all children everywhere at childrenunited.com. It's our effort to make sure every child has access to trusted news and a platform for their voice. And thank you again. This is for the children.
We now come to the Naomi Sargent Award, which commemorates the distinguished broadcaster and good friend of VLV, who was Channel 4's first Commissioner of Education.
This year's award goes to Rebecca Atkinson. Journalist and producer Rebecca has long campaigned for positive representation of disability, co-founding Toy Like Me to badger toy companies into better representing the 150 million disabled children worldwide in their products. Rebecca felt that disability representation in children's television was also lacking, so created the Mix-Mups, winner of the 2023 VLV Children's Award. She then turned to accessibility, wondering, in her words, if TV access could be personalised to suit a child's individual needs. Could Mix-Mups revolutionise TV access by devising a way to allow viewers to pick from a menu based on their own access needs? So, working with Stornoway and Milkshake, Ultra Access was born, a brand new interactive television innovation, a first for all television. Ultra Access creates many ways to watch and meet every child's unique needs. It's the biggest development in TV access for years. VLV celebrates Rebecca for her tenacity and her drive in disability advocacy, but also her creativity and innovation. Sadly, she can't be with us, but she did want to send a video, and in a moment, some people are going to come and pick up her award on her behalf. But first, let's see her message to us.
Hello everybody, I'm so sorry I can't be there today with you all in person. I'm actually training with my new guide dog at the moment, and I'm not able to travel away from my hometown for another 3 weeks until he qualifies. So I'm jumping on here to say a huge thank you to everybody at the Voice of the Listener and Viewer for this wonderful Naomi Sargent Award, which I've been thrilled to be awarded for my work for children in a multitude of industries, from the Toy Like Me campaign I started in 2015 to get the toy industry to be more representative of disabled children, right through to Mix-Mups, Ultra Access, and more recently I have been working in the publishing sector to innovate around tactile literacy. So I am absolutely delighted to have been chosen, and I just want to say a heartfelt thank you very much. And also, whilst I'm here and have your ears and eyes, to say that it's so important for government funding and backing for children's TV to continue in the UK, because without it, Mix-Mups wouldn't have been made, and also the economics of the children's industry really need that extra input at the moment to keep those wheels turning and keep creating great content for UK children. So I'm very much hope that you all have a wonderful time and you enjoy the vol au vents and the fizz or whatever you've had for lunch. And I say big heartfelt thank you again. Thank you. Bye.
Well, to accept the award on her behalf are Louise Bucknell, Senior Vice President, Kids and Family, Paramount UK and Ireland, and Louise Burgess, Acquisition and Programme Director at Milkshake, Channel 5, Paramount.
Thank you.
And we now move on to the best individual contributor to radio, and I could have voted for every one of these. The nominations were Anna Foster, Donald MacLeod, Sarah Montague, Paddy O'Connell, Amol Rajan, and Nick Robinson.
And the winner is Paddy O'Connell, and I'm delighted he's here to collect his award.
Yes, I was certainly going to be here because I've wanted this award for 35 years. All those people who can't be here, I'm not in the slightest bit interested in why not. This is really known as the only award worth having. I've watched over 35 years as you've given it to all my rivals, and worse, my friends. And partly because you don't have the excruciating award ceremonies. I remember going to a Sony award which had got so big, it was about 5 hours long. Terry Wogan was hosting. There was 1,000 people in the room, and he said he had to do more awards with every course. And he said, well done for those of you who had the broccoli. A brave choice. And the evening was dreadful. And so I'm here with the people who employ me, Mohit Bakai of Radio 4, Lewis Carney, who ran Radio 2 in its glory days, and all the people in the room who've made this possible. The last award I won was measured in yards. It was the 10-yard badge from St Christopher's School in Farnham. But the thing that's kept me honest and good in my job, or not good, but kept me honest, is the listeners. And actually, I used to be afraid of the Radio 4 listeners, and then a long time went by, and I'm now just completely in love with them. There's the man who wrote to me saying, I know why you call your show BH, because you're an AH. There's the woman who wrote to me saying, don't get in trouble for the F word that was uttered on BH. They often have oral sex on Woman's Hour at 10:10. And then there's a man I met, David, who said, thanks for the BH in which you spoke about the pub where there's a cat and a landlady called Roxy Beaujolais. We went to the pub. So this, for me, is a reminder to the BBC bosses, if you want to know the voice of the listener and viewer, why it matters, be the voice for the listener and viewer. Be accountable, be authentic. So I'm absolutely over the moon, and I've broken the rule. I've spoken for 150 seconds.
Without repetition.
Without repetition. But thank you very much. It means absolutely everything, and I'm delighted to have beaten all the other dreadful people.
Finally, the best individual contributor to television. The nominations were Katya Adler, Ross Atkins, Victoria Derbyshire, Chris Packham, Simon Reeve, and Claudia Winkleman.
As you say, another great list, but I'm thrilled that the winner is Katya Adler, and Katya's here to collect her award.
Thank you very much. Paddy, this is the most important award, actually. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. I think when there's so much good stuff out there, to be singled out it really is an honour. I couldn't do it without my brilliant colleagues. And I feel really lucky to be able to truthfully say that I think, like Paddy, after many years in the news business, I still love what I do. I think it's a privilege to do what I do. I'm excited by it. I'm nervous about it to get it right. And as part of the BBC, we want to keep serving our audiences as much as we can. Whether it's I love radio and online as well. I have to say, this is for television, but whether it's the 10 o'clock news saying, Katie, we've got no time, you've got to do a skinny minute when you're trying to do something nuanced, or now we're sort of foraying into the world of YouTube films like we just did on the Hungarian elections, which means we get into TikTok, much to the horror of my daughters. And it's always an adventure in the current affairs and trying to bring Europe to our audiences, because if the government says we want to be closer to Europe, we need to understand our European neighbours better. So it's an exciting ride in very divided times where I feel that quality journalism, BBC or elsewhere, is more important than ever. So Thank you for supporting us, and thank you very, very much for this award. Thank you.
And if I could just add a personal thanks for Katya for telling me so much about Europe that I never knew. Now, that's the end of our awards for broadcast programmes from 2025. However, VLV occasionally makes a special award, usually to an individual for a major contribution to the world of broadcasting in its widest sense.
This year, VLV is presenting a special award to the BBC Proms, which the BBC took over running in 1926. You'd have worked it out, 100 years ago. The Proms were nominated this year for Best TV Entertainment Programme, but they're truly, truly at the heart of the BBC in its many forms today. All concerts are broadcast on Radio 3 and are on BBC Sounds for 30 days after the end of the season. 20 Proms are broadcast on BBC 2, 4 and 1, and of course the second half of the last night is on 1. But they're also on iPlayer and on CBeebies. The BBC stages 72 Proms at the Royal Albert Hall, and this year a series of concerts in Gateshead, Bristol and Mould. Truly, it is a huge undertaking, and they've been at the heart of the BBC's values for 100 years, and I would say also at the heart of classical music and the provision for everybody of classical music in this country. There is no bigger, better classical music festival than what the BBC provides through the BBC Proms. We're all delighted that Sam Jackson, controller of Radio 3, is here, and of course the BBC Proms he's controller of as well, and former director of the Proms, Nick Kenyon, who's at the back there, are here with Helen Heslop, head of live events, Proms, and Radio 3, Guy Freeman, managing director, Livewire Pictures, and Emily Cackett, marketing manager, BBC Proms, to receive a special award on behalf of everybody involved with the BBC Proms. And I might also say, as this is the VLV, on behalf of all of us who think classical music for everybody, wherever you are, rich, poor, wherever you live, is vitally important, and the BBC's role at that. Well done, team. Come and get your award.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Tony, and good afternoon, everyone. When I first got the email tipping me off that we might get this award, I almost had a heart attack. I would like to tell you it's because I was so overwhelmed by the award, and yes, I was. But frankly, I thought, oh my goodness, we've got the year of the centenary wrong, because we were busy planning our 2027 season, and this email came and said we'd like to acknowledge 100 years of the BBC Proms. And for a moment I thought, was it 2026? Have we got it all completely wrong? Thankfully it wasn't, but as you've just heard from Tony, what is so wonderful, I think, is the VLV wanting to acknowledge that in 1926 the planning began for this first ever BBC Proms that took place the following year. And I'd like to pay tribute to everybody who's worked on the Proms over the last 100 years, because it does take a huge amount of effort, but it is the most extraordinary privilege. And I'm sure I speak for Nick as well when I say that anybody who's done this job, you feel like you are the custodian of something incredibly special. You don't want to drop it, rather like this award. You want to and you need to innovate and bring new ideas, but you also need to protect and preserve what is so special about this festival. And I'm really proud that this summer we'll sell around 70,000 tickets for £8. And you can come to the Proms and see the Berlin Phil or the BBC Symphony Orchestra or Marta Argerich or whoever for pretty much the same price as a pint in the pub around the corner. So thank you to the VLV for acknowledging the proms. Thank you for your support of what we do. And I would just finally say that, you know, in a world where the BBC's content budget in real terms has fallen by 30% since 2010, having advocates for what we do who can champion public service broadcasting, in addition to the brilliant work done by other broadcasters, is just so important. So please keep doing that. Please keep articulating your support, and thank you on behalf of the whole team, past, present and future, for your support of the proms. Thank you.
Well, that really was our final award for this year. Congratulations and thank you to the winners and their production teams. And I'm sure that VLV members will be watching with critical and appreciative eyes over the next few months, ready to nominate programmes and individuals for next year's awards. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to the VLV's Diana Garrett for producing us pretty immaculately.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear.